At any rate, first, as a matter of great urgency.
Oh boy, they're onto us. Better find Barney and get moving.
We wanted players to realize that they've been spotted and the Combine are now aware of their arrival at the train station. It sounds like a simple task, but it actually took a lot of thought to draw the players' attention to the various events that communicate this message.
There you are.
First, a train horn sounds, which gives Alyx an opportunity to mention that the station is in sight. Next, the lights go off to grab the players' attention and to make the monitors stand out in the dark. At this point, the player should be looking at one of the monitors, so finally, the Kleiner transmission is interrupted briefly by a Combine advisor. Originally, the advisor appeared on a jumbotron outside, but we were never able to reliably make playtesters look at it. The flashing Combine camera should also provide some indication that trouble is brewing. Though it's not a proper gate, the zombie draped over the exit is designed to slow the player down just long enough for Alyx to finish her lines.
Originally, Barney started off in this map in the doorway down by the citizens, but playtesters tended to wander around for a while before stumbling across him. We moved him up here to guarantee that his scene with Alyx would unfold before players began any exploration. He's standing over a dead Metro cop because it's a plausible-looking long-term activity in case players don't move directly down to him. Nearby reward items also tend to draw players toward him.
Here we wanted to include something a little different, an escort mission. Most of our gameplay involves constant forward motion, so we wanted to design a situation where players would fight through the same basic area multiple times. This temporary backtracking would create a series of encounters where players had a full tactical awareness of their surroundings. Once again, all of this turned out to be more easily said than done, and this sequence went through a lot of iterations. Originally, the train yard was one big space. This approach had a couple of problems. Since players had a constant unbroken view of the entire area, it was virtually impossible to maneuver enemies into position for stage combat events, and because they could always see the goal, players didn't get much of a sense that they were leading citizens somewhere the citizens couldn't get to on their own. Ultimately, we broke the environment into two different spaces, a parking lot and a maintenance building. Because neither area can be seen from the other, we're able to repopulate the spaces with new, more deadly combinations of enemies while the player isn't looking. It also makes the journey feel lengthier and more significant. We wrestled with the problem of plausibly repopulating this area with soldiers between each trip. After several iterations, we decided to have the soldiers jump in through some high windows. This solution has several advantages beyond maintaining incredible fiction. It makes the incoming enemies more immediately visible, and, since the windows are unreachable from the ground, players aren't able to exit through them. Plus, leaping soldiers turn into tumbling ragdolls when shot, which is always entertaining.
Doing good. Could have brought everyone over at once. Go back and get another group. Stay here and guard the gate.
Gordon, defend the citizens! These are our people!
people?
It was touch and go for a minute there.
Okay, they're safe. Go for another group. Bring another group of citizens for me. Keep your heads down. We've got you covered. Make it.
Hey, Freeman, get back out there and help. Here, have a med kit.
We're ready for another group of citizens.
Ammunition depleted.
Gordon Freeman I know.
Freeman, ammo!
You smell that?
Keep your heads down.
That was a close one. Here, ammo!
You're safe. Go for another group. Okay, they're safe. Go for another group.
To the trains, people. Make sure you get there.
Another one, Freeman. We've got you covered. Thanks, Freeman.
Here, patch yourself up.
Should keep them off our backs for a while.
You
Sorry,
guys
Dad.
coming?
Go on, Barney. They're not after you. Gordon and I will draw their attention while you get the others away from here. We can grab another train once you're clear.
Okay then. But don't take too long about it, yeah?
Here, let's open up this next track.
We needed a train
Marty.
station, but we didn't want something that was too similar to the one in Half-Life 2. We decided to give this station a more industrial look, to make it a place where trains were repaired and freight was offloaded. We included some Combine elements to help explain why the Strider can't fire through the various strategic barricades required by the game design.
We separate Alyx from the player here to make the Strider battle a more intimate combat experience. While we generally want Alyx to be useful to the player, bosses tend to require a specific combat style to beat, and we found that it usually doesn't make gameplay sense to keep her around. Plus, boss battles are the player's big hero moments, and having too much health dilutes a sense of individual accomplishment. Alyx more or less sits out all of our bosses.
For this climactic battle, we created a new AI that makes the Strider a more interesting opponent. It has a snappier cannon attack, can better track the player's movements, and it now has the ability to target the environment in dangerous ways. For instance, its cannon fire can shove heavy shipping containers straight into the player.
This shipping container used to be accessible only after the player destroyed a padlock. Given the amount of stress during this part of the game, even a simple puzzle, in this case, destroying the lock, would be completely missed by the player. In the end, we felt like the arena we had built for the player to fight the Strider was fun enough without this added element, so we removed it.
We often use goodies, such as this crate and the scanner battery around the corner, to guide players along a preset route. We want players to hit their marks during the battle without drawing attention to the fact that they're being subtly manipulated down a particular path.
Tension high in this fight, we also realized the players would need some cover. Indestructible panels satisfy both those design goals. Effectively, they're time shelters. Players can hide behind the panels, and the Strider will target them until they're destroyed. This gives the players brief periods of safety, during which they can plan their next move.
We often use goodies, such as this crate and the scanner battery around the corner, to guide players along a preset route. We want players
We wanted to keep the tension high in this fight, but we also realized the players would need some cover. Indestructible panels satisfy both those design goals. Effectively, they're time shelters. Players can hide behind the panels, but the Strider will target them until they're destroyed. This gives the players brief periods of safety, after which they can plan the next move.
We often use goodies, such as this crate and the scanner battery around the corner, to guide players along a preset route. We want players
fight, we also realized that players would need some cover. Indestructible panels satisfy both those design goals. Effectively, they're time shelters. Players can hide behind the panels, and the Strider will target them until they're destroyed. This gives the players brief periods of safety, during which they can plan their next move.
We noticed during playtesting that players were often too afraid of the Strider's weapons to stand in front of it and fire rockets. This was kind of a problem because rockets are virtually the only way to kill a Strider. To help players, we modified the Strider's AI so that a player-launched rocket will significantly delay the Strider's attack. This battle of reflexes lets players guide their missiles in safety, as long as they get their shot off before the Strider does.
Along with vistas, positive feedback from Alyx is one of our primary means of rewarding players. In this case, Alyx's excitement over the Strider's destruction adds a sense of closure to the battle, and gives players the satisfaction that someone witnessed and appreciated their heroics.
The train the player rides out of City 17 had two major design goals. It had to visually connect the end of Episode 1 to the beginning of Episode 2, and it also needed to address the functional gameplay requirements of the second episode. Using reference material we collected on European train cars from the 1980s, we built a basic version of the train that level designers could test. Once we got the thumbs up from them, we added textures and lots of little details. The result is basically a caboose, combined with rounder, more streamlined elements from a passenger car.
Apart from being a big visual payoff to the episode, there were several story requirements this ending sequence needed to convey. It had to make it very clear that the Citadel was destroyed, that the Citadel pods had escaped, and it needed to imply that the data transmission beam was streaming out of the ruins. We discovered that Alyx had to be mostly silent during the scene, or else players tended to look at her instead of all the chaos around them.
Oh my god, the transmission's going out.
This is more than anyone can bear, but we will persevere.
We're done running. This is our chance to take back our world. We're not going to lose it the second time.